Good morning to all engineering students. Myself, Dr. D. Raguraman, Associate Professor, Department of Automobile Engineering, Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research. Today, this video lecture is we are going to see about SolidWorks modeling, which is comes at Model 5 in the course code U20 MEEJ01 Engineering Graphics and Design. So it is prepared by myself, Dr. D. Raguraman, and Dr. K. Selvakumar, Department of Mechanical Engineering, both prepared this video lecture. So we will see about a SolidWorks modeling. Why we are going for a SolidWorks modeling is we are studied engineering graphics where the basic things whatever we had learned is first we had started from orthographic projections and we had seen sequentially projection of points, lines, straight lines, plane and solid, section of solid, then development of surfaces. All this thing why we had studied is it is actually to make a model drawing. Once we are making a drawing, then we will be going for an actual production. So the production will be made depending upon how you had made the drawing. The dimension specification, everything is available. That is what engineering knowledge is applicable on that one. So that that is adapted on that engineering knowledge is adapted on that. So that will be getting communicated to other engineers. So that we will be making use of to how to make a product from the drawing. So this drawing can be made as an assembly drawing, and for that we need to go for an advanced softwares. Whatever we studied in engineering drawing level, that is only in a sheet we have practiced it. But nowadays it is also implemented in the software. But that knowledge is required. Once you are having the manual knowledge how to make the drawing, then only you can understand all the concept, fundamental concept. Then we are going for an software modeling. That is what in companies at all they will be using lot of 3D modeling. So now we are going to see one by one how to make the modeling. So in this video lecture we are going to see how to develop a one of the part model. One of the part model we are going to see. Before that, we are seeing what is the assembly modeling, and from that only one component we are going to see how to develop that component using the SolidWorks. Now, seeing about assembly modeling, you can able to see here. Here you will be seeing a exploded view of an engine. If you are seeing the engine, you will be having a lot of individual components. So the individual component is what it is going to be modeled in case of SolidWorks. Then it will be analyzed using a ANSYS software. You are going to analyze it. Then it will be approved for the production. So individual product you will be making. Then these are all what going to be get assembled. That is what in an assembly model, components are brought together to define a larger, more complex product representation. And also in assembly modeling, it is a tool. That's what it allows and facilitates the collaboration among designer, analysis people, manufacturing people, and others to ensure their assembly works together. And if you're seeing in assembly, what is a assembly, what is a sub-assembly, what is a component objects, these three definition must be known. So if you're seeing assembly, the assembly is a collection of pointer to piece parts and or sub-assemblies. An assembly is a part file that contains component objects. So whatever the assembly, as I already previous slide you had seen, the engine components, if you're seeing that is a assembly product. Individual components is going to be get assembled so that it is going to be a complete machine. That is what it is a part file that contains number of component objects. That individual component part you are going to define. So sub-assembly means a sub-assembly is an assembly that is used as a component object within a higher level assembly. A sub-assembly that contains component objects of its own. And if you're seeing about component object is the entity that contains and links in the pointer from the assembly back to the master component part. A component object can also be a sub-assembly made of its own component parts and or component objects. So now if you're seeing this picture, it will be a better representation. If you're seeing, initially you will be getting a raw material. That is what is number one. If you're seeing components part to be included, it is number one, and component parts to be included is what it is sub-assembly, and it is picked from the inventory and it is delivered to sub-assembly station. From the raw material, you will be creating first sub-assembly parts. So once you are creating sub-assembly parts, the sub-assembly parts, once it is built, then it will be moved to create a entire assembly. That's what finally you will be getting a completed sub-assemblies, and you will be getting as a sequenced one, you will be going to get a final assembly product. So now in this video lecture, we are going to concentrate on one part component, that is ARM component, how to create a ARM component. That is what you are going to see on this video lecture. So if you are seeing this ARM component, this is one of the component. As you had seen already, you had assembly and sub-assembly and component. If you are having a sub-assembly, you will be going to make it using a number of components, then using number of subassembly you are going to create a assembly. Now if you are seeing here you will be having on the machine one subassembly, a clamping element, because the machine having number of sub-assemblies like this. This is one of the sub-assembly, a clamping element. In this clamping element itself, you will be having a individual component, a arm component. Here the gray colored one, this is what a arm component, and you can be able to see a shaft and then a handle and then a supporting picture. But you see what we are going to design is only this arm component. How to design this arm component? That we are going to make use of a SolidWorks. So if you are seeing the arm, that is being a part of a clamping assembly. If you are going to see how you are going to develop this arm component using a geometric modeling, that is what you are going to make use of a SolidWorks software. Okay. So before going SolidWorks software, what is needed? You need a dimension of an arm. Once you are knowing the dimensions, that is what it is manually created using our engineering drawing concept. You will be having dimensions of arm. It is a two-dimensional one, and its thickness will be known. See here, thickness is given. Unit in inches. Its thickness is being 0.125 inch. So once you are knowing the dimension of arm, this dimension of arm you are going to draw in the SolidWorks. Then you are going to make inclusion of this thickness also by means of an extrude command. Okay, so that you can able to make extruding of the thickness, so that you can able to convert into a 3D geometry. So first you will create a 2D geometry, then we will see into a 3D geometry. So before creating a geometry, what is needed? We need a global coordinate system in mind. So in this case, the origin is here, and the XY plane is what coincident with the back surface of the part. So you'll be having the origin with respect to origin XY. You will be going to communicate all the dimensions. Okay, how much dimensions from the origin. Okay, you can able to see 1.375 from the origin and 2.25 for this circle from the origin. Okay, you are having the origin, so that x-axis going here and y-axis going here. Now we are going to see about how to make use of a SolidWorks software. The SolidWorks software is what it is helpful for creating a 3D model. So if you're seeing the SolidWorks icon will be available at your system. You can click that, double click that. Once you are double clicking it, you can able to see a window like this. On this window, you will be seeing the user interface. Here you can see the user interface, and here you will be seeing the pull downs menu like a file menu. Okay, you have a lot of commands. Okay, that is what you will be having a pull down menu. If you are moving the mouse over the SolidWorks logo, then you can able to see the pull down menu, and by clicking that you can able to see what is required for you, that you can take. Okay, so that is what you can see here. File, on the file you are going to click new. Now we are going to create what? A component diagram only. So you are going to select part. After that, assembly also there. Once you are making n number of components, then you will be having the each components parts that you can able to assemble in the assembly drawing. That is what in model 5 we are going to see about individual parts as well as assembly. Both it is what in your model 5. So that is what now this video class we are concentrating about creating a part. So you are clicking the part. So you can click the part. That is what defaultly it will come part only. So you are going to select that one using your mouse. Then you are going to click OK for creating a part document. So once you have selected it, you can able to see that there will be a pull down menu as already said. You will be having a file, edit, view, insert, tools. Now you are going to click the tools. Once you are clicking the tools, you will be having an options menu. There also you can go, and here also you will be having an action command available. There also you can select. First thing what is needed, we have to go about what system you are going to define as a coordinates. It is given inches. In the component part diagram, you have seen it is inches. So you are going to select it inches. That is what you will be having a IPS, inch, pound, and second system. That once you are clicking that options, you will be getting a dialog box like this. On this, you can able to see you will be having a number of commands, and that here you can able to see units. So you can click units. Okay, so once you are clicking the units, then on the document properties tab you have selected units. On the units you will be having the fourth thing, it is being what? Inch as well as pound and second. This IPS you have to select, because our part drawing it is expected to make in inches. So even though it is a, we are using in the dimensions, all dimensions are mm, that is what you have seen in case of our all drawing. But what is the expectation for the component making? That's what you have to stick with. So in the component drawing, what it is expected, you have to make it in inches. So you have to select that particular units. So you are selecting inch, pound, second. But the default one is what? It is a metric. That is what the first one. but according to our requirement, now you are going to select inch pound second. So also you will be selecting about the length dimension, that is being decimals, you are setting to 3 decimals. Here 0.123 is available, that you have to select. That is what we are selecting, a decimal accuracy of 3 decimals. So once you are selecting that, then you will be making clicking OK. And here you can able to see, once you have selected this inch pound second, you can see at the bottom of your user window as IPS. That is what inch pound second. That is the dimensioning system we are using for this part creation. So now you are seeing there is a 3 circles on the parts of an arm. So we are going to create the circles. So how to create a circle? If you have to create a circle, you will be having a dialog box on this left side. This is what a part creation. See part creation, history, sensor, annotations. So this annotation, this is what you had seen already in the previous modules. What are all the various annotations? On that front panel, you will be selecting. So on the front panel, you are going to select the futures tree. So on the futures tree, you are selecting a front panel, and then you are going to select the sketch, because circle is what one of the sketch. So you have to select sketch. Once you are selecting sketch, then you can able to select the front panel in this window. And also you will be right clicking anywhere by your mouse in the graphics area, and you can select the smart dimension, because what dimensions you are having, we are selected already IPS, inch pound second. Now you are selecting smart dimension. If you are selecting a smart dimension, automatically it will ask you the dimension, what dimension each circle is, what dimension each line is. It will ask a box with that. So you can simply type there what is the requirement, you can type there. That is why you are selecting a smart dimension. So now once you are selecting a smart dimension, now what you have to go, we have to go for the creation of a circle. So you can, for a creation of circle, you can go for sketch entities. Already you have clicked the sketch, so that this dialog box will open. So that sketch entities you are going to click, and right click once you are clicking anywhere in the graphic area, that will be what it is displaying a context menu. On the sketch entities, you are creating circle command. Once you are clicking a circle command, the circle will be getting created. And if you are seeing circle at the origin, you can drag outward to create a circle. Using mouse, if you are dragging outward, it will be creating a with some diameter. The diameter will be available. That's what you can edit. That's why you have created a smart dimension. So that's what in a graphic area you can able to select it, and once you are pressing escape, you can able to escape from the circle command. So you can able to see here, once you had given that, you will be having a sketch. Now sketch is getting added in the SolidWorks. This is what it is, what called this part, this dialog box is what it is called as a feature manager. Otherwise it is called a feature tree, otherwise a part tree. You can able to circle also with the diameter. So whatever, wherever the diameter you want to stop, with the diameter you can able to see at your user window. And you can see the smart dimensions. And what you are going to make is, you are seeing that sketch toolbar is here. Once it is not active, you can click that, then it will be active, and you can able to see the number of sketching features. So that is what you have selected a circle from the sketch toolbar. Once you have selected a circle, then you will be having the circle shape, and you will be moving the cursor around the x-axis until an interference line appears. That is what you will be going to make a circle part on the arbitrary diameter, and you will be having an interference line also. So that already you have created one circle. Now the second circle you will be creating with interference line. Okay, that's what you have created it. That's what click smart dimension from the sketch toolbar. So sketch toolbar, you will be having a smart dimension here. Once if you are clicking that, you will be getting a smart texting. Okay, so that you can able to make the testing. So click the two center points. Already you had made interference distance, so you are clicking the two center points one after another, and then you are typing there, you are typing 1.375 inch. That's why you had already selected a smart dimension, so you can type there. By typing you can able to get 1.375 inch. So in the head up toolbar, you can able to click zoom to fit the sketch within the graphic area. So you can able to zoom it, and also if you are clicking it, you can fit into your graphic area. So this is what a head up of on a toolbar at the top of the graphic area. So now if you are seeing, you can add the relation. If you are making the circle, two circles, you can add the relation between the both. That's what you will be pressing escape to dismiss the smart dimension. Then you will be selecting add relation. This will be available at the context menu. So you may need to extend the context menu. Once you are extending it, you can see the add relation icon like this. So once you are selecting that, then a property box will be appearing. That's what you will be having a part tree. here you will be having the graphics area. So you will be clicking the two circles. You have seen two circles created. You have to click the two circles. Once you are clicking the two circles, then you will be having the arc1, arc2. Okay, note that their names will be appearing here because the circle will be showing in the SolidWorks as arc first, arc1, arc2 like that. Okay, and next thing you will be creating a relation. What is the relation between the two? You will be having equal radius. Okay, you have created a relation, you have a equal radius, that is what the relation between the both. Okay, and for that you will be making the relation, click equal to make their sizes equal. If it is concentric, you can select concentric. If it is tangent, you can click tangent. Now you are going to make a equal dimension, so that's what the relation needed. So once you are clicking it, then after that you can able to see here the existing relation as equal radius. Okay, once after selecting this two circles, and you will be clicking a equal relation, then it will show you a existing relation. And once it is over, then you will be clicking OK to dismiss the property box. And now this is what a definition is given for the relation is given for the two circles. So now you will be deselecting the two circles. For deselecting, what you have to do, you have to press escape. Otherwise you can click anywhere on the graphics area. Once it is over, now the two circles have the same radius because you had already given the relation, so it will be having the same radius. Now you can see the second circle that is still blue colored. Okay, it has to come as a black color. If it is blue colored means some definition is still missing. Okay, that is the meaning. So now you have to impose another relation. So again, you are adding the relation. You are already knowing how to add a relation. Now you are clicking the points there. Okay, so you will be making selection of add relation from the context menu again. And what you are doing is in the graphics area, you are clicking the two circle centers. What is the center to center distance? That is what missing. Now you are clicking the two centers and you are clicking that horizontal to make the points align horizontally. So that is what here you will be having a relation. You are clicking the horizontal relation, both having center to center distance. It is a horizontal relation because the third circle you will be knowing it has to be what vertical relation because that circle is aligned vertically. You have to select vertical relation. So horizontal relation is added. That's what addition to the existing distance relation. Already you had a distance relation. Now you will be added it as an horizontal relation. So once it is over, then you will be clicking OK to dismiss this property box. So now you are deselecting the points. You have selected a circle center points. Now you are deselecting it by pressing escape. Now the second circle you can able to see previously it is blue color. Now it will become a black color. So now the third circle is what? The third circle you have to go as a vertical one. This is the first two circle, and here outer side only we will be having the arm that should be created using lines. Okay. Now we will complete the circles first. So this is the straight circle. So you will be following a similar procedure to draw the third circle also. Now the thing is what you will be having the relation, vertical relation. Previously you had given a horizontal relation. Now this is what this center is making a vertical relation. So its diameter is known and its center distance is being what 2.25 inch. This thing is given in your initial drawing. Then only you started to do this SolidWorks modeling. So now you are seeing that you are adding a vertical relation now. You are adding a vertical relation between the centers of the first and the third circle. That's what for the third circle you had added a vertical relation. And now you are going to complete the sketch. For completing the sketch, you are using the circle command to draw the three circles that are concentric with the first three circles respectively. Already we have completed these circles. Okay. Now we are going to develop other circles that is being concentric to the already developed circle. So you will be remembering that you have to press escape twice. That only what it will be making escaping from the already existing relation. So you have to move the dimension for the better arrangement. That's what now you will be knowing the relation will be what concentric, like horizontal and vertical. You are going to make concentric relation. So using that, you will be completing the concentric circle. How you had completed the first three circles, like that you are completing the concentric circles. Now you need to develop the line. So once circle is over, you are going to develop the line. After that, you have to complete the solid work. That's what the complete model will be prepared for the component. Now, for collecting the line, you will be selecting the sketch entry, and the line command is available at the sketch entry. You will be selecting that line command, and if you are going to press escape, that line command will be going to exit. So sketch entry will be selected, and you are selecting the line command so that you will be making a step from here to here you are going to connect. Okay, that is what tangentially you have to select a quarter point here and quarter point here. Okay, with the center distance being given 1.375, so that you will be going to form a line. So seeing this, You will be clicking the upper quarter point of the circle. Here you are clicking the upper quarter point for creating line. Then this one is what? This one is the upper quarter point of the next circle. So that you can double click to end the line drawing. Once you are double clicking it, the line drawing will be getting ended. And now this one, if you are seeing, the line command can be used for the multiple line segments. So to end the session of the line drawing without dismissing the line command, simply double click it. If you are double clicking it, it will be on the line command only, but you are closing that one line alone, so that you can proceed for the next line, because you have to go for here also. So the vertical circle also you are going to create line. Here also you are going to have on a line. Okay. So you will be going to proceed that line command by simply a double clicking it. Now you can see here you are having a line, and here you are having a line, here you are having a line. First line we have completed this. Now we are going to complete these three line in addition. Okay. So now seeing that here you are going to follow the steps, whatever you have explained for drawing the lines. Okay. The same steps you are following here also. And here you can draw the tangent lines. Here directly the same procedure, whatever you had followed for that line, the same procedure you followed here. But here you will be having a tangent line, not a straight line, because it have a different diameter. Here it have a different diameter. So if you are seeing that, you will be drawing a tangent line. You have to click a circle near quarter points rather than at quarter points. Here you have selected at quarter point. Now you have to select the option as near quarter points. So that these two tangent lines will be what? Not a quarter points. It is a tangent lines only. If you had made a mistake, instead of selecting near quarter points, or if you had made a mistake as in a quarter points, you can make a undo command. Undo command is available. You can make use of that, and you can rework with the near quarter command. Okay. So now you will be having a trim entries, because you have made a line, but actual component how it is you will be knowing. There is a circle, only outer one is what? Outer one you have made as a concentric circle, but that is actually, it is not a full circle, it is being a outline of the geometry only. Okay. So you will be pressing escape to dismiss the line command, and you are selecting the trim entities from the context menu. So once you are selecting the trim entities, you can get a trim dialog box. On the trim dialog box, you will be going to select in the property box, selecting a trim to process. Selecting trim to process. Now you can see that. So you will be selecting the points, trimming points, okay, because only this is the whole existing, this is the whole existing, but this is going to be get removed. Only these are all, this is what required. Outline is what required. Here actually object is not there. You are knowing about the arm geometry. So this is not the object existing. So whatever the not existing object, that's all you are selecting, because that you are going to trim. Because trim already you are learned in AutoCAD command. Trim means what? You are deselecting the part. Okay, you are deselecting the part. You are yes, it is not like a erasing. Okay, already a single component is there. You will be cutting it and you are removing it. That is what trim. Okay, so that's what you will be clicking the segments, whatever it is not required for it, that you are trimming out. Okay. So once you are trimming it out, your sketch after trimming will be like this. This is what our required 2D geometry. So now you have completed a 2D geometry. So now this is for the 2D geometry. Now you will be using to specify what is the radius. What is the radius? You will be making use of a small dimension again. So you are specifying the radius as 0.313 inches for this one. Okay. And as you have used a small dimension, even though you have made a equal radius, you can change it any time. That's what small dimension. You can change the dimensions any time. So you will be changing the radiuses, and then you are completing the circle dimensions. Okay, the radius of the arc is what? It will automatically adjusted to agree with the relation. So when you are changing, you are already created a relation, it is going to make a horizontal relation. That relation is existing as it is, but only thing is what? Now you are changing the dimension, so it is going to change its dimension. And also you will be specifying the radius for the third circle, that is being a zero point 0.5 inch. And what is this tangent line? On this tangent line, you can able to see the sketches will be a black color. If it is black color, that is not having any bending relations. If it is blue color, there will be a blending relation. Then you have to check the relation. Here you are going to select the vertex, because you can see here it is being a sharp edge here. You are going to make it as a selecting, so you will be selecting this vertex. Once you are selecting the vertex, you are going to create a fillet. So again, you are going for a sketch fillet. Okay, on the fillet, you will be selecting the entity as fillet. So you are escaping from the spot dimension. Press escape, so that spot dimension will be ended. Now you have come for sketch fillet command. At the sketch fillet command, you can able to define what is the fillet diameter. Okay, the fillet radius you are making as 0.25 inch. Okay, that you will be typing, and that is what existing. Then you finally you are going to make click OK. Okay, so you will be typing it 0.25 inch for the fillet radius. Then here what you are making is, so here you are clicking OK to accept the properties. So now your dimension is automatically added. You can see here, okay, already it is sharp. Now you can see here as it is a filleted one, okay. The dimension is what it is getting automatically added. This what it is completing the sketch. So it is a completion of sketch in the 2 dimension, okay. So a recap of all these things. See whatever you have seen on the toolbar. See the commands that is getting used in this subsection can also be found in sketch toolbar. So here, whatever you are seeing, that can be seen in the case of a sketch toolbar. If you are clicking sketch toolbar, you can able to see that. So that is what a line command you can see here at the sketch toolbar. Okay, and also this one is what a trim entities we had made use. Okay, and you will be having a sketch fillet command. Okay, that is also we had used for this, and you will be having a add relation command. Okay, add relation command will be available here. Using that, you will be creating the relations, and you will be making, finally you will be making click exit sketch. So using all this thing, you have completed your two-dimensional part, and you are now clicking exit sketch. So the sketch is created. Now you have to make it into a 3 dimension. Okay, so now you are going for a 3D model. So about of creating 3D model, you will be having the sketch. You have completed your sketch one. So the sketch one is available. Okay. So you are clicking that and you are highlighting that is sketch one. Once it is a sketch one is highlighted, now you will be selecting from pull down menu, and you will be selecting insert, boss, base, extrude. Okay, this extrude is what actually you are going to add the thickness for this two-dimensional geometry. So now once you are clicking that, you can able to see a dialog box like this. That is what you will be having a extruded boss or base command that is available in the future toolbar. So that on the future toolbars, you can able to see the extruded boss or base. So you can able to extrude the two-dimensional sketch. So you are having the two-dimensional sketch. That is what you will be going to make use of an extruder. So you are extruding it. You are adding the thickness. What is the thickness given in the drawing is 0.125 inch. So that 0.125 inch is for extruding the depth. So you are extruding the depth. That is what you will be typing the 0.125 inch, because you are knowing in the available drawing, two-dimensional drawing, we need you to create it for 0.125 inch. That's what you are creating, 0.125 inch. Once you have created that, then you will be making click OK. So now you can see you will be having the finished 3D models. So, okay, so you are getting a finished 3D model. So this finished 3D model now you are going to make. You will be having the file menu, new menu, open menu, save menu. Okay, on that you are going to save this object. So from the pull down menu, now you are selecting file, save, or on the toolbar you can able to click save button. Okay, so either pull down menu you can click and you can make save. Otherwise on the pull down bar itself you will be having the save button. You can click the save button. Okay, the toolbar on the top of the user interface, you can see there you will be having a save option. So you can save and you can even give the name as ARM. Okay, because it is a ARM component, so give it as ARM. So this is what a solid part you have created. So in the SolidWorks it will be coming as .sldprt. That means it is a solid part. Okay, defaultly it will be .sldprt. That means a solid part component created using a SolidWorks. Okay, so that you will be completing your part, arm part. Okay, so you have seen how to create the circles. Okay, horizontal circles and vertical circles. Okay, and then you have extruded it. Once 2D geometry is completed, okay, circles you have developed and you have drawn a line. Okay, so how you have to develop this thing? This thing you have developed by means of a circle, concentric circle, but there is not actually object, so that you have trimmed it. Okay, outer surface only it is going to have the terms of radius. Okay, that's what you have made, and you have trimmed all that thing. Okay, and then you had extruded that two-dimensional component. Okay, so lines you had made here, two lines using that quarter point. Okay, and here you had used the tangent concept near to the quarter point. Okay, this two. Okay, that is what the 2D model you have created and you have extruded, and now you are getting the finished 3D model. Okay, so now once you are completing it, you can able to see now the ARM part model you had created. Okay, if you are selecting the file, you can close the pull down menus to close the part document, and also you can select window menu and click here. Here you will be having close button, and there also you can close the SolidWorks. That way you can able to exit the pull down menu as well as you can quit the SolidWorks. Okay, by closing here, you will be quitting the SolidWorks. Thank you for your attention. Thank you.